mindfulness.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress release coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your session of mindfulness on Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. We're making a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
Grand rising. Ooh, my Lord. We have static all over the place. Okay, maybe if I take it off the speakerphone, it'll sound better. That Naima, I'll need you to text me. Let me know how it's sounding this morning. Thank you so much for your patience for our listening audience and viewing audience this morning, because we are live on the air as we speak now, and we have an international caller who is calling in from China, and her name is excuse me, LaKeisha Caples. Now, how we are sounding in China right now is a guess of mine. I have no idea, because we were having a few difficulties this morning, but we are now live on the air on the Female Solution on blogtalkradio.com. And we're going live on Facebook now because I wasn't live earlier. But we are all live now, and thank God for that. So I can take a breath this morning. I see our executive producer is with us, and I will see, I'll open that up. Trying to avoid static, and I still have static. So let me open up the microphone for LaKeisha and see if I can hear LaKeisha. Are you there this morning? Grand Rising. Yes, she's there! Hallelujah! Oh my God. This has been the morning from trials and tribulations, let me tell you. But by the grace of God, we've made it. Now, LaKeisha, you're in China. Good morning, all of our Facebook family. You're in China, which is that 8 o'clock at night there? It's 7 o'clock in the morning here. Okay, it's 8 o'clock there. And I have a whole spiel that I go through in the morning. So I usually bring my guests on about 7:30, but no, girl, I got you here right now. So we gotta do this now. But so let me officially start the show this morning. Grand Rising and welcome to the Female Solution. Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. And we're just here to start your week off with the mindfulness stress relief session. How can I do that with all that stress I had this morning? You laugh about it. That's what you do, because you have to laugh to keep from losing your mind. I was like, okay, I got an international guest here, and I usually allow our executive producer, Naima Latif, to handle all that. But this takes me back to my days in radio when I first started in secular radio at WJPC. There's a little history for you millennials. Johnson Publishing Company. He was the first African-American man, black man, melanated man of color who had a radio station. And I went to the station to become a radio personality, and I was thrown on the air right after the interview. So I know what that stress is like, and I never thought I would experience that again, but I did this morning. So thank God for Monday morning mindfulness, because I was doing a whole lot of breathing, LaKeisha, a whole lot of breathing while I'm sitting over here in slight panic mode. I had Naima on one line and you on the other line, but we got it. Oh, and we're doing Facebook Live too. So if you can go to Good morning, Still Bill. If you can go to your Facebook page, and you come up on my screen, I can invite you, and that way people can see you. If you want to be seen, I don't know, you might not want to be seen. It's kind of early in the morning. I get up about 4 hours ahead of time and do my makeup. Anyway, let us get started. If you're listening online, facebook.com/Zelda Speaks, and the same on Twitter and Instagram. Also on YouTube, we're live. Hey, YouTube, we're on our YouTube channel. It's the Higher Learning Network TV show. And if you would like to call in and listen, it's, call in to speak, 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And today's traffic and weather is rainy and foggy outside. So get all your boots, your galoshes, your scarf, your rain hats, all that stuff, because you're going to need it. It's wet and cold today. High in the 40s today. Today's traffic and weather is sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. Stop paying for cash for your business and personal needs. Use barter dollars instead. And there's a $100 bonus sign up for new member bonus or businesses and entrepreneurs that join online, but you must use the promo code ZELDA, Z-E-L-D-A. No reported crashes as of yet, but I'm sure they're coming, but you don't need to hear about them. And today's show is dedicated to the memory of Viola Goss, my husband's grandmother. We called her Granny. Granny made her transition. She was 83 years young, and her funeral today is from 10 until 12 at A.R. Lake Funeral on 79th and Cottage. So condolences to the family, to my hubby, Tony Hose, and to Corky and Amber and all the Goss family. As we take a look at the traffic inbound on the Kennedy is 40 minutes in both directions. On the Eaton's 21. On the Eisenhower, it's 30 minutes, and I'm running right through them so that we can get to our international guests. The Dan Ryan is 30 minutes in, 20 on the reverse. Bishop Ford, 30 minutes, 18 minutes to 95th Street with some traffic delays there. Inbound on the Stevenson, 40 minutes to the Tri-State, 27 on the reverse. Lakeshore Drive, northbound at 47th Street, there's some delays there. 21 minutes inbound, 21 on the reverse. And today's traffic and weather is sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. Oh, also there's a crash at 95th and Woodlawn. Remember to set those DVRs for Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19 to see the Higher Learning Network TV show. That's Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1, 24/7, on the World Wide Web, higherlearningnetwork.org. You are in for a treat today because we have some higher learning for you from a sister who is from Chicago. Do you hear me? She is from Chicago, and how she wound up in China is a fascinating story. Let me tell you a little bit about her before we bring her on. Her name is LaKeisha L. Caples. LaKeisha L. Caples. She's the CEO, lecturer, published author, speaker, and coach. LaKeisha Caples is an award-winning writer, publisher, author, speaker, consultant, lecturer, and world traveler who shares her experiences and insight on education, women in business, and entrepreneurship. She is the author of 10 Essential Business Writing Strategies, The 7 Lessons of Success, and Content is Still Strong, forthcoming this summer. Her books motivate students and teach entrepreneurs about creating content and developing marketing strategies. As a writer, she publishes books and articles that engage business leaders, championing the growth of women in business. LaKeisha's content speaks to the challenges of women entrepreneurs face and provides solutions. During graduate school, LaKeisha began consulting entrepreneurs and artists and created successful campaigns to increase their brand awareness. She named the company Lake in the Sky, reflecting on the Washoes people and many other cultures' philosophy as above, so below. The play on the spelling reflects her fresh, edgy, and urban perspective that she brings to each project. Lake in the Sky is spelled L-A-K-E, capital I-N-D-A-S-K-I. Lake in the Sky, then, is an international business development firm specializing in marketing and content in the American, African, and China markets. To give her clients even more brand awareness, she launched 2GLOBAL Influencers podcast and Global Influencers magazine, which highlights mostly women global leaders who are influencers in their industry. As an educator, LaKeisha has presented papers at conferences around the world. She has taught literature at universities for over 6 years. Her research interests include the presentation of women in literature, African American experience, and hip hop culture. In 2004 and 2008, respectively, she received her bachelor's and master's degree in English from Chicago State University. I told you she was a girl from Chicago. And the following year, LaKeisha began working on a PhD in African languages and literature at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where she has completed her doctoral coursework. That's just a little bit about the sister who moved from Chicago to China. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the international global influence, Miss LaKeisha Caples. And thank you for what a wonderful way to start your day. Oh my goodness, girl. You have just simply thrown me for a loop. I'm like, a sister from Chicago has moved to China, girl. You got some stories to tell, and I know it. So we have a lot of folks on Facebook that are waiting to hear this story. So we have got to get the message out now. Oh yeah, that would be nice, and that way they would be able to see you in China because can you repeat that? Yeah, so they can see you, girl. Yeah, a little feedback there. I'm gonna try that on another line and see what happens because we get a little feedback when I open that line up. Let me see what happens here. And for our callers that are
It's outside of your plan and will incur
what else is new? For our listeners, if you are joining us this morning and you have questions, you're thinking about doing international business, just grab pen and paper and text someone.
You'll be able to listen to the show.
And text someone and let them know that we're on. Yeah, I've got a little feedback there too. Okay, but you're there, LaKeisha? Okay, while she's trying to get on. Good morning, Stephen, Adolphus, Naima, Philip, Vernon, Nasur, Jean. Thank all of you for joining us this morning. This is an international call, and we have went through the ringers this morning trying to make it happen because I am learning very quickly this morning to be appreciative of the technology that we have here in the States where we can just pick up a phone and dial all over the world. It's not that simple in other countries, and China is one of those countries. So we'll talk about some of the benefits and some of the, what's the lack of a better word? Challenges. Thank you for that word. Some of the challenges. And while you're doing that, I have not given my word for the day. So while you're looking for that, let me get out the word for the day because people expect me to do the inspirational reading today. Every day, well, every Monday anyway. It's taken from Inspirational Conversations, Volume 2 with Shalom Israel. And today is April 29th, and I will be reading from today's date. And it says, have you taken out time for you? Why not? Are you too busy taking care of someone else? Well, one day you're going to be doing something, talking to someone on the phone, texting, tweeting, or writing, and it will just hit you like a brick. You will feel a sharp pain and ignore it. You may feel dizzy or uncomfortable. All the signs will be there, and you will continue to ignore them until you can't ignore them anymore. But why wait until despair shows up? Take the time and stop and do something now, today. Do something to help yourself, better yourself. Now be good to yourself. There's only one you, and you're all you got, and you deserve better. So when you know better, Hopefully, you'll do better. Inspirational Conversations with Shalom Israel, aka Zelda Speaks. Available at zeldaspeaks.com. Makes a great birthday gift, for the holiday gift, the Mother's Day gift, any other kind of gift. So just go to zeldaspeaks.com, click on products. And if you are looking to a way to raise money, then you might want to go to diabeticdonut.com. Many of our followers know that I reverse type 2 diabetes, and that information is available on diabeticdonut.com. Did I hear you in the background, LaKeisha? I cannot. No, I have to invite you first. Yeah, you have to be on my page, and then you have to join me first, and then I can invite you, and that way people will be able to see you. Okay, you are on my page. I don't see you yet. I guess well, you know what? You're in China, so it might take a minute for it to. Oh, I can invite you too. I see where it says invite friends. So let me type in your name, Lak Lake. And ooh, you may not be one of my friends on Facebook. Oh, there you are. Hi. Okay, so it says hi. And how do I invite you? Oh, LaKeisha Caples. That's how. You're not under Lake in the Sky. That's right. LaKeisha KAP. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I see LaKeisha Caples. And for those of you who are listening, watching, viewing, and you are technology savvy, this is your time to feel free to help a sister out. Because I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm learning. And I'm learning at my expense, so you can see I'm losing my mind here this morning. This is fun. I love it. Learning can sometimes be a challenge, but I promise you it will be worth the wait. We want you, so you're going to your page. It says Lake in the Sky, right? Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, while you are waiting, you will be fascinated. You today, once you learn the story behind this young woman who is no longer in Chicago. That's what I love about young people. They love to travel. When you're young, you have no fear. And that's one of the things that we talked about. Well, I listened. They talked last night in the Fear Cafe, in the Death Cafe, on blogtalkradio.com, the Soul Purpose Healing, SOUL. I sent it to someone else and I said SOLE, but it's Soul Purpose Healing with Viata, who does a show every Friday morning here on Blog Talk platform. It's called Health and Wellness with Viata. My head wrap is a little tight this morning. I wrapped it a whole lot tight now. Untighten it. Okay, so how do we do this? When you're in the mirror, you can see it, but here it's a different story. Anyway, they were talking about death and fear. And millennials have no fear. They don't fear death, and that therefore sometimes they don't always respect it. And that's a challenge. And we, as the ancestors, it is our responsibility to teach them that which they do not know. So I challenge you to do that today. When you see a young person, remind them of who they are, the greatness that is within them, and that they have work to do. The fact that they woke up this morning is a sign. When you are no longer taking a breath in the body, in this vehicle, your assignment on this planet is complete, and it's time for you to move on. And we're just so conditioned, we just boo-hoo, and it's all part of the journey. I'll be boo-hooing today at Granny's funeral, and we just get to a point where we have to learn to operate from the spirit level, which will ease the pain sometimes and ease let go of the fear. So when you get a chance, go back and listen to last night's show, The Death Cafe, on Soul Purpose Healing. blogtalkradio.com/soul purpose healing. We live in such a state of fear nowadays because that's what the TV shows us. That's what the radio shows us. That's what the internet shows us. And we just lose it. Because fear is what runs the world. That's how they sell us all the commercials that we listen to. And, you got to buy this to be protected. You got to live here to be protected. You got to wear this to be protected. You got to do all these things. And so that's all a part of it. And LaKeisha, my dear, if you are not in the sky yet, I will take a little time just to talk about the Style and Grace play that is coming to the Black Ensemble Theater. It is Style and Grace is a tribute to Lena Horne and Nancy Wilson. It is a play that I have been wanting to see since I heard about it. And wow, I just got a whoa or something. I don't know what that was. So Facebook, bear with me. I don't know what that was. It was like a whoa. I don't know what that was. But I am going to finish my thought. I can hear you. I hope you can. Finish my thought on Style and Grace. It says impeccable style, enduring grace, and a special way with words. Lena Horne and Nancy Wilson helped define these very phrases. In Black Ensemble Theater's new musical, Style and Grace, we take an intimate look at the cost of fame through the years and how these phenomenal, let me say that again, these phenomenal women left such lasting marks on the world. Now, Lena Horne has been gone, over 10 years now, but Nancy Wilson just made her transition. Was it this year or was it last year? It hasn't been that long, I know that much. But anyway, Black Ensemble Theater is at blackensemble.org, and you can also call them at 773-769-4451. I just had to share that with you. Style and Grace, Nancy Wilson and Lena Horne. And I love Lena Horne because Lena Horne looked like my mom. She just reminded me so much of my mom. And you remind me of someone who was on a mission this morning to hear the story of LaKeisha Caples, who is having a little difficulty with Lake in the Sky. I think because I have to, LaKeisha, I think you need to come back to LaKeisha Caples, because Lake in the Sky is taking a little long. We've got listeners on the line who want to hear you. So what I'm going to do is invite you, LaKeisha, LaKeishakaples. It says no results found. That's not good. I'm looking at you right here. I'm going to copy. Maybe I didn't spell it right. Copy. I am copying your name. Copy, and I am going to I invite you. Okay, so I told y'all I was technology challenged, and there are no. Okay, we're just gonna do the audio because I'm inviting you and it doesn't recognize you. Maybe if I reply, can you hear me now? Glad to have you here. Okay, so. Oh, well, I'm replying to you, but that doesn't allow me to pull you up. So I don't quite know what to do. So we'll just talk. How about that? So I have given you a very, your introduction. So what our listeners would like to know, girl, how did you wind up in China? Long story short, you left all this USA and you've traveled all over the world. Let's hear from you now. It is it's 7:30. Girl, we got to take a commercial break. And when we come back, LaKeisha will be with us to tell us her amazing story. So you stay close and we will get that information. We will have that for you. So hold on. We'll be right back. Okay?
Yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. We all say we would like to be wealthy, but wealth isn't determined by how much money you have. Wealth is determined by your power to define what money is. The dictionary defines money as something used as a way to pay for goods and services and to pay people for their work. So how would you like to have access to an unlimited source of money? Money that is not taxed by the government. Money that increases as you share the opportunity with others. Money that you can use to pay for goods and services and pay people for their work. I'm talking about Bitcoin. It's the future of independent wealth building. Bitcoin is the new money that you control. Get started building your wealth. Call 312-849-3456. That's 312-849-3456. Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shinsu Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com. Are you ready to take charge of your health? Hi, this is Beata, your holistic life coach, and I'll be joining the Female Solution family every Friday morning to assist you in your journey to abundant health. Together, we can reduce the stress, which most health professionals agree is a major contributor to disease. Every Friday, I'll be sharing the knowledge I've gained from over 20 years in the holistic health field. The word holistic simply means taking into consideration mind, body, and spirit to balance and heal your human self. I am truly excited to be able to serve you on the Female Solution. Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered. Stay tuned to your next session of Mindfulness on Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
And thank you for joining us back here on The Female Solution. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. If you just joined us, welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. I forgot to do the rest of the word, right? Our guest today is all the way on the other side of the world, where it is 7:35 here a.m. I believe, is it 8:35 there in China, LaKeisha? 8:35 p.m. So it's, go ahead. There's a little 13 hours behind. Well, thank God it's not 4 a.m. like it was the first time we talked. I was like, girlie, we still talking. It's like, I got to get off the phone so this girl can go to sleep. She got to get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. We were talking, it was 4 o'clock there, and it was 5 p.m. here. So we got the times right. But now let's dig into the LaKeisha L. Caples biography and business profile. First and foremost, I'm sure our listeners want to know, how does a sister who is from Chicago wind up in China? Tell us about that journey and how it all began, LaKeisha.
From Chicago, but I'll tell you, and actually we didn't talk about it before, but I'll tell you where I grew up in Chicago. I grew up in Allgale Gardens, which is around 134th in Michigan. So, and I went to Carver High School.
Did you say Carver High School? Because you're breaking up. LaKeisha, I can hear you now.
I'll tell you where I grew up in Chicago.
Okay.
I grew up in Allgale Gardens.
Carver High School. Okay. Okay. Mm. Wow.
All those years, and now I'm able to do what I want to do.
And excuse me, how many, you said all those years, you're still a baby, so give me an idea. Are you in your 20s or 30s? You're still a millennial. I said you said all those years of hard work. I know you're a millennial. Are you in your 20s or 30s, or is that too personal a question to ask? Really? Oh wow, wow. Okay, so they haven't convinced you there. They haven't the Chinese way hasn't rubbed off on you, because I think they expect to live long lives, so they don't mind telling their age. But you are a millennial. That's all that matters. You're a baby. You, mhm. Yeah, that's a long time. It sure is. That is a long time.
In our work, in writing, and doing what we're supposed to do, we don't know anything about the outside world except our classes. So we sacrifice, people, when they're on the PhD track, they sacrifice a lot.
Yeah.
You have to be dedicated to do that. And, I was very dedicated.
Yes, when you are on a mission, I understand that. Even though college was over 40 years ago, I do understand, because you have to have. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to have my headphones in here. You have to have. You must have tunnel vision if you are to move forward in the direction you're going. You just can't have outside distractions, and that's what this show is really all about: is to teach us to go within, because once you get rid of the distraction, it's that's how you move forward. But you cannot move forward if everything that you're paying so close attention to is a distraction. Radio, TV, internet. Sometimes you just got to shut it all down in order to do what you need to do to get that degree, or that peace of mind, that peace of calm, that state of calmness, whatever it is that you're doing. Yes, ma'am. To start that business. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What I went through with went to school has prepared me for what I'm doing now, because in order for me to get to the next level in my business, I still have to have this tunnel vision.
You have to keep that same dedication, that same mindset in order to proceed, because being in business is not easy. That's why most people stay on a job, because it's a lot of work. Twice as much work as being an employee. Yeah, twice as hard as being an employee. Yes. Oh yeah. Probably. You think? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do. Because if you don't, your dollars will fly out the door, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, you'll be like, "What happened?" Well, you didn't have the tunnel vision when you needed it. So to have it at some point in your life is fine. Yeah, right place at the right time, doing the right thing. So how did it become? You mentioned Dr. Mahabiti and Don. Mahabooty, and Donda West, Kanye's West mother. Those are like the elders of our community, and you may not see them, but they are there doing the work. And you said that they influenced your life in such a way it made you want to travel. And I'm looking at your bio here, and it says, as an educator, you presented papers at press conferences around the world. Where was the first place that you went internationally? And following up with that, the Global Influencers podcast. Tell us a little bit about that. Because I had never heard the word influencers until one of the millennials said it. Someone from your generation said it. So tell us a little bit about what that is and how it came to be. Because a lot of people don't know what influencers are. I just learned. So please share that with us.
Well, your first question was where was my first international conference, and it was in Guinea, and which is in West Africa, and I want to say it was in 2006 or 2007. Yeah, around that time. Mm-hmm. But Guinea was my first conference that I attended internationally. Then went on from there to conferences in the Caribbean, in Tanzania, in East Africa, in Europe, in Amsterdam. Quite a few. I don't have quite a few. And then your second question is, what is an influencer? An influencer is the person who is a key, like a key leader that people listen to. They influence thought. They influence sometimes what you purchase. It depends on what kind of influencer they are. So it's like a key opinion leader. It's one of the term that they use here in China is KOL. KOL is key opinion leader. Influencer, a person of interest, a person who is very knowledgeable in a certain area. Those are all influencers.
So who would you say is an influencer in that our listening audience might be familiar with?
I'm sorry, you broke up. One more time.
Who would you say is an influencer that the general public might be aware of?
There are so many influencers.
In the business world.
Let's see. In the business world. Okay, I just had a brain freeze.
Oh, welcome to the club. It happens.
I'll tell you, one of my KOLs, one of my influencers that I listen to, that I have such high regard for, is Melanie Hobson.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Ariel Investments.
Yes.
Yes. So she's a key opinion leader, influencer who, it reminds me of a saying that we used to say back in the day: when someone talks, everyone listens.
Yes.
So that's kind of what an influencer is. So it's like when Melanie talks, most business women listen because she's an influencer.
Right. That's a great example.
An influencer is someone very knowledgeable about a certain topic, a certain area of interest, and you follow that person,
And everybody, well, not everybody, but I'm sure there are many people in Chicago know of her. So she's a great example, and it's somebody in Chicago that we are all familiar with. So that is a great example. She is for those who don't know, she's now married to, I can't remember the young man's name. George Lucas. I know everybody knows Sky Wars. Am I saying that right? Sky Wars? Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
You can see I never saw it, right? I saw bits and pieces of it, but I've never seen the movie Star Wars, and it's like everybody's telling me I'm missing something. It's like, okay, I'll get around to it one day. But because at the time I was studying, and Star Wars just wasn't on my radar. So I understand that. So that's a great example of an influencer, because I see on television all the time, on not maybe not television, but definitely on the internet. They're always talking about influencers and people who have garnered respect for the knowledge that they have, and sharing that information with others who are going down that same road. So I thank you for sharing that. And it also says on your bio that, I love it. You said you specialize in marketing and content in the American, African, and China markets. How did that come to be?
Well, my field of study in school was literature, and I guess it was just it's not too far of a stretch to go into content development. Content development, I'll explain a little bit about what that is. That's actually not just writing. It's any type of content that you produce. It could be videos, it could be podcasts, it could be blogging, vlogging, pictures, any type of content writing, information that you produce is content. And so one of the things that I do is help businesses to develop strategies to help increase their engagement. So my background actually prepared me for that, because when you read a lot of literature, as I have over the years, you develop a certain feel for how a story is storytelling, how a story should read. And so that's one of the things that brands really try to communicate with their audience is their story, a story. And so that's part of my job, is to help companies connect with their audience and tell a story, create interesting content, and to increase their engagement, and to build a relationship with their audience, their customers.
That is some kind of special, because it takes a certain talent and a certain what's the word I want to use? Personality, to be able to adjust and to perform. And one of the things that I love about reading about your bio is that you talked about Lake in the Sky, reflecting on the Washoe's people and other cultures. What is the Washoe people?
So the Washoe people, and maybe I should have started with that, because that would kind of explain the idea of Lake in the Sky, but that's okay. The Washoe people is a group of Native Americans, and they are located, and a group of people still live in that region. They're located in the Sierra Nevada region near Lake Tahoe, and part of their philosophy was the idea that when you look out among the Lake Tahoe, the sky and the lake at some point converge. So you can no longer, it goes so far that the eye can see that it converges, it comes together. And so you can no longer tell where the lake begins and where the sky ends, because it creates a mirror effect. And so that's the idea, as above, so below. And so let me give you an example of that. So for people who have seen the movie Wakanda, and I'm sure many of us have seen the movie, probably more than once.
Oh, yeah.
In the movie, if you recall, there is maybe 2 or 3 times during the movie, a person would kind of go into transition into another realm, and that would be the spirit realm, and they will communicate with the ancestors. And then once they're finished communicating with them, resolving an issue with them, they would come back into the physical realm. And so I don't know what it was, but it was something like a purple flower that kind of induced them to go into the spirit realm, if you recall it. And so it's the same thing. We live in two different realms, and one is physical, one is spiritual. And in African thought, African metaphysics, there's a line that separates those two realms. It's called the Kalunga line. And you can traverse this line and travel from the physical to the spiritual. And you just need to be in a certain state. And hence the idea of that fasting, breathing, all of those things that help you traverse or go into the spiritual state. And so usually when most people travel to that spiritual state, it's because there's something that's not in balance. And they need to resolve an issue and find balance so that both of these realms can be in harmony. And that's the reason why in the movie, and of course in real life, that's the reason why the characters travel to the other realm. They had to resolve something so that the physical realm can be in harmony. So in Lake in the Sky, I'll kind of show you how it relates.
Okay.
In Lake in the Sky, that's what I would like to do. So my platform is to help women, more women, become business owners. Because I know that when women are independent, they can be self-determining. They can determine their future. They don't have to be reliant on anyone or anything. They can be self-determining. And so my company is helping women that harmony, that balance, helping them to become financially independent.
That is awesome. Back up for just a moment. We got to go to a commercial break in about 60 seconds here. Kaluga line. Spell that for me.
I'm a horrible speller. Let me see.
Well, just say it again.
Kalunga.
Kalunga. Kaluga. And that.
Kalunga.
Okay, and that is what?
The Kalunga line is, well, you think of a circle first.
Mm-hmm.
You think of a circle, right? Because in Western thought, time is linear, right? Which is just a straight line. That's Western thinking. But in African thought, it's circular. Right? So you think of a circle. And in the middle of that circle, you draw a line. The line above is the spiritual realm. The line below is the physical realm.
Okay.
You can traverse or travel between these two different realms or worlds or universes, however you want to refer to it.
Okay. So we have been operating on the Caligula line and not even aware of the terminology that is used, but because we are in sync with that which governs us, meaning the creator, not the government or these corporations that think they have a hold of us. They do have a hold of us on the physical realm, but not in the spiritual realm. In the words of MC Hammer, can't touch this. Okay, all right. I get a little goofy sometimes this early in the morning, but it's powerful that to know that there is a definition, an explanation of that which we are experiencing, and that will allow us to transcend to the spiritual realm and which is what we do here on Monday Morning Mindfulness. And we didn't get a chance to do that this morning because of technical issues, but we have a lot of folks on the line who have questions, and we are going to take one of them as soon as we come back. Area code 718-210. We're going to bring you up live as soon as we come back from this commercial break. If you just joined us on the Female Solution, we are speaking with LaKeisha Caples. Lord have mercy. This is a powerful sister. You just stay close because you will be so glad that you stayed around to hear what it is that you need to hear this morning. And you'll be glad you did. So stay close.
Hi, this is Maika, and I want you to join me every Thursday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And let's talk about it. There are so many interesting things to talk about, and we have many thought-provoking discussions. We have amazing guests on the show, and you'll find real transparency, a really peaceful environment, also a healing environment as we do EFT and other healing modalities to bring ourselves into congruence and balance. It's also a child-friendly environment. And we have an open mic. All you have to do is press 1 to be heard and to say what you have to say. No fear, no fake, real truth. That's what you'll find on my show. Visit our archive at the Female Solution on Blog Talk Radio and listen to past discussions that are intriguing. Call 505-615-9325. Invite a friend and listen in. And I'll see you then on Blog Talk Radio. Let's talk about it with Maika every Thursday.
Are you having challenges with your 2-year-old who has suddenly discovered they have a free will and has learned to tell you no? Are you having challenges with your 8-year-old who has suddenly learned how to tell untruth in order to avoid punishment? Are you having challenges with your 13-year-old who has suddenly realized that they know everything and you know nothing? Parenting is a challenge. Our children are here to learn and grow in understanding so that they can reach their highest creative potential and contribute to a new world of peace and harmony. To do our part as their teachers and protectors takes wisdom, patience, and skill. Join me, Naima Latif, and facilitator Mark Shahid on the Parenting and Family Reconstruction Learning Lab every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time on American Muslim 360 Blog Talk Radio. Tune in at www.blogtalkradio.com/American Muslim 360. Call in with your questions at 515-605-9891. That's 515-605-9891. Spare the rod. Love the child.
This is Minister Cynthia Marie Williams, spiritual counselor and advisor. I invite you to a private reading in the area of business, health, finances, relationships. My introductory cost of $20. Please call because there is a higher power that can help me help you. 312-802-4743. Peace and blessings to you all. Call me, 312-802-4743.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution. How you learning with Zelda Speaks on Monday Morning Mindfulness. And my guest today, if you just joined us, is LaKeisha L. Caples, business owner of Lake in the Sky. And she is from the Shy, but now living in Shy Nah, how about that? Play on words. China, from Chicago to China. And she's here to share information with us as I go to our blog talk page. I'm looking at the description, LaKeisha, and it says Women's International Business Development with LaKeisha Caples, founder of Lake in the Sky and publisher of Global Influencers magazine. And our discussion will include the following. Number 1, international business. Number 2, taking your business from local to global. 3, entry into the China market. 4, entry into the African markets. And 5, marketing. 6, content development. We talked a little bit about content development. Let's back up to international business and taking your business from local to global. Can we speak on that this morning to give our listening and viewing audience some tips and techniques from a pro?
Some of us have even grown in business and doing business nationally.
Mm-hmm.
So not just within, your city or state, but you're doing national business. Maybe you have customers and clients all over the U.S. And some people, and a lot of my clients have felt like they've reached that plateau.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually don't even consider going into business, the next level, which is international, global business. So they think, well, I'm making nice money. I have customers all over the U.S., maybe even some international customers, but they don't have like a branch or office in a different country, which is very, very possible. So they don't even consider the possibility of doing business overseas. But we shouldn't get comfortable with, once our business takes off and we do business nationally, the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just need someone to help coach you and, prepare you for doing business international. And that's where Lake in the Sky comes in.
And so how does one know that they're ready? Can you repeat that for international business? How do they know that?
Well, every business is different.
Mm-hmm.
Some companies, some entrepreneurs may feel like they just don't want to do international business. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
their business model fits a domestic audience, and that's fine too. Not everyone is going to do international business.
Mm-hmm.
But those who may consider it, maybe they'll know because they feel like, I'm getting bored. I've reached a certain plateau. I know everything in my field. Well, it's time for a challenge then.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe someone feels like, well, my customer base, because there's so much competition, I don't have as many customers. Well, China has the most populated nation in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's over 1.5 billion people living in China. Most of them have access to, over 90% of them have access to the internet, cell phone, where they can products. You have the possibility of 1.5 billion customers.
Yeah, those are some good numbers.
It just depends on if that entrepreneur is ready to go to the next level. If they're ready to go to the next level, then I'm available to help them.
And would that have to be a physical product, or could that be a digital product, or
any product? So
any product.
Physical, it could be a digital product. It can be, it could be coaching. It could be, just an audience. Maybe some people are at the very beginning. I work with clients who are at different stages. So it could be you're at the very beginning of your career, your company. So now you just need to build a following. So it could just be creating content to develop a following for a particular audience. It could be a Chinese audience. It could be an Indian audience. It could be an East African audience. Yeah. So every company is different. Every project is different. So it just depends on the individual person.
Well, I'm going to have to do a consultation with you because it appears to me that 1.5 billion people in another country could benefit from the Western way of living, seeing that they already dress like us, try to speak like us, think like us,
Yeah.
you know, the same culture. So why not? Because they do everything that we do. You know, they color their hair. They even go so far as to remove their ethnic features. I've seen documentaries on that, and I was like, why would you not want to be Chinese? Why are you trying to get rid of the slit in your eyes? That's your history. That's your grandparents. Why are you trying to get rid of it? But anyway, long story short, I see some possibilities there. So we always want people to be able to connect with you. And for those who just got on, who may not be able to stay on the line long enough, so how would they contact you? And then we'll go on to the other ones, which are your entry into the China market. But give us your contact information, just so for those who are listening who may have to get off the line. What is your contact information?
Sure. So the entry in the China market or in African market, they can email me at info@lakeinthesky.com, info, I-N-F-O, at LAKEINDASKI.com, or they can go to any of my social media and send me a message, or they can go to my website on the contact page and send me a message.
Okay, and that way they can contact you. So how would one determine if they would rather go to the Chinese market or an African market? How is that determined?
It depends on what their needs are, if they are selling a product, or if they are interested in buying product and exporting it or importing it into the U.S., or they have a product in the U.S. and they want to export it to a country in Africa or in China. It just depends. Everything is so unique for each. Everything is so different. So yeah, you mentioned a consultation. That would be the best thing to do, is for them to send me a message, and then we set up a time to talk for me to find out what their needs are and how I can best help them.
And a question comes to mind, because everything we see here in the States you look on the bottom of it, it's a plate, it's a bowl, it's a cup, it's a pair of glasses or whatever. It says made in China. So how does an American compete with the China market, and things are already made there dirt cheap? How do Westerners move forward when production costs there are so low? We would have to produce something here, or would we produce it there, have it shipped back here, or housing, distribution? How does all of that work? Does that make sense?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. And it's something I talk to people about all the time. The first thing is China is changing. So it's not the same landscape as it was maybe 10, 20 years ago. A lot of the companies from the U.S. and from Europe are actually finding manufacturers in different countries
Mm.
because China is more expensive now.
Oh.
So a lot of companies are going to, especially if it's like garments, they're going to Malaysia, they're going to Bangladesh, they're going to Vietnam.
Mm.
A lot of manufacturers, retailers that produce leather, they're going to Vietnam now because the China market is a little bit too expensive.
Mm.
And especially because of the trade war that's happening, or I don't want to call it a trade war, but the politics with the U.S. and China, even more companies are leaving China, going to different suppliers because it's just getting more expensive to do business in China than some of the other Southeast Asian countries.
Mm.
So, yeah, it depends on what the product that you want to purchase. It may be better to source it from a different country than for you to get it from China.
Mm.
And in that case, actually, the African market would be better because you still find there's the cost of labor is cheaper. The material, probably, depending on what it is, could be cheaper to get from Africa than to source from China.
Mm. Excellent point. I forgot the lines are lit up. Area code 718-210. You are live on the Female Solution Grand Rising. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning. My name is Darryl, and I'm calling from New York. Good morning, LaKeisha, Caples, and what's your name, host? What's your name again?
Zelda.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning to you too. Now I know the U.S. has the EIN number. They have a DUNS number. Overseas,
yeah,
China.
Bradstreet.
Yes. Dun & Bradstreet is about to be over. Somebody else is taking up because of the government contract. But does China have anything that is like equivalent to that? When you go to overseas to the country, do they have anything that do they have a business number? Tax identification number, anything that's equivalent to the U.S. And can you get business credit? Does their country do business credit and stuff like that, and net 30s and stuff of that nature? Revolving credit, do they do things of that nature?
That's an excellent question, Darryl. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Especially about the business credit.
That's not the only question I have, but that's the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have a reporting system here in China, and the same way you would go through the process of setting up a business in the U.S., you would go through the process. Of course, it's a little bit different, but they still have a process where you go through, you set up a business, you have a business license. The only thing that's a little bit different here, and maybe harder for Americans or Westerners to adjust their thinking to, is that you have to have a Chinese partner when you do business in China. And so, if you set up a consultation with me, we'll go through all of that. But yeah, you have to have a Chinese partner.
Do you
have a business number?
Okay, the next question is,
you have to report your earnings to the government in China, here in China, yes.
The next question is, I said a lot of us have basic survival skills to live any place in the world. We can learn their language later. I give an example. I know how to wash a plate. I know how to push a broom. I know how to do some other stuff. So like if I jump off the plane, I need to survive. Would it be possible I can get a dishwashing job or, something like, pushing the broom, cleaning the floor? Is that easy to, go into any of these places that, you're doing business in and survive because I'm a dishwasher or I know how to do certain things, or if that's not, or the basic things that I would do here, just read that and go, okay, this is the way I live over here. And since, if they so interested in the way we live, and I'll just really do that over there. Like if I go to the gym, or okay, I open up a gym, let them see like the way that I work out, because they probably just something else, doing karate or kung fu, and I'm into some different type of style. And would they be interested in that? Can I just jump off the plane and become a dishwasher? Would they accept me?
Good question.
Well, a lot of people, the first thing is a lot of the blue collar jobs. Well, let me back up. One of the things that the Chinese government does is when foreign companies come into their country to do business, they want to make sure, there's one thing that I admire about the Chinese government, and one thing that I wish we could implement in our own comes to do business, expectation that you will create job opportunities for their citizens. And so, say for example, Walmart. There's Walmart in almost every big city in China. So there's one here in Guangzhou, Beijing, many of the big cities. So there are no Americans working there. There are no Europeans working there. There are only.
All right.
Yeah, it would be for more. I've never seen anyone but a Chinese person working those positions. However, and gamble,
Of course.
like here in Guangzhou, that Americans and Europeans do work, the foreigners do work there. So that's a possibility. But for the most part, the blue collar jobs, they're more geared towards helping Chinese, to enter the work environment.
I say that because, okay, so like I jump up, I want to start something new because years ago, I'm a prior athlete. So I was going to just pick up, and just go overseas because I saw they respected older athletes. I'm 53, so at the time I was like 36, and I was going to pick up and go overseas and continue my career. And my cousin said, don't do that. Make sure you keep your place in case things don't work out over there. But like if I do go over there, how long does it? So like if I want to open up a gym, a workout gym, how long does it take to be up and running? Would I be able to get funded right away? Or if I can't get funded, wash a dish, I need to know would they hire me immediately? Because over here in America, when they need help, we have government services. We have like social services for people who, they're out of work or they got laid off. So what are the services to they can get up and running that will help us over there? Do they have anything of that nature? If we step off the plane and we need immediately assistance, do they have anything over there of that nature?
Good question. Great question.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the things, and I can tell you because I have a membership to a gym, and one of the things I know a lady. She's African American. She's a trainer, and so she works as a trainer for, I believe, totally. Her second question was, what can you do in the interim until your business takes off? There are a lot of things people do when they first come to China. Some people, they teach. Some people, they consult. So some people can work as a consultant, but you would have to do a lot of research before you come. And Zelda and I was talking before, I did a lot of research before I came. So I was well prepared for what I wanted to do, how I was going to go about executing it. I had actually had clients Southeast Asia before I came to China. So doing your homework is key.
So if you're saying if I jump off the plane, if I decide to get a plane ticket right now without any research, and I go over there, I'm going to be in trouble?
I would advise you to do research and not just, be so spontaneous. But I have heard people who just say, you know what, I'm going to wake up. I woke up and I just decided to go. And it somehow, because of the universe aligned, the stars for them, it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say do your homework first.
Mm-hmm.
Have a plan. And that's the best thing you could do, because you don't want to, go through undue stress. You want to make sure you have a plan and you have an idea of how to execute it. And so then it increases the rate of you being successful if you have a plan.
I always say when you go someplace, always make sure you talk to a career or professional people. What I mean by that, if I was to go someplace, okay, I would talk to a police or a doctor or somebody of that nature. The medical people, the medical field, they reach out and help you, and the police, they reach out and help you. I think that would be some type of connection. But then again, we hear so much things. Are they the foreign invaders? So many people, they give the U.S. have a bad rap. And then you hear like security. I feel security is a big problem because I'm a security, and it depends on hours a day that you work security. And a lot of security, some of it is controlled environment, some of it is not controlled environment. And then from there, like I feel when somebody makes money, you must be have security. When you're out there in the public and you're making money, you must have security. A lot of people, they lack security. They can get kidnapped, they can get hurt. You look at a lot of these people, the rich people who get hurt. Who wants to hurt a poor person? I mean, a poor person, sometimes they might do things that put their life in danger. But elsewise, when you making money, you need security because you make it, and then you got people who want to take it. They'll come around and take it. So security is a big thing. I think every business should have security, but a lot of businesses don't feel like that.
Mm. That's a good point.
That's to create a plan, do research, and then be well versed in get in touch with other people who are in that field, and find them on either Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and begin to network with them to understand whatever field you want to go into. Those people who are in that field, and get a better understanding of the field.
Thank you.
So that you're educated on, everything about whatever field you're going into.
That's a great question.
Right. I appreciate it. Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for that call, Daryl. We've got other calls lined up. We are going to go to the phone line, area code 312-802. You are live on the Female Solution Grand Rising, and thank you for calling. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Minister Cynthia Marie Williams.
Minister Cynthia.
I'm so proud of this young lady.
Yes, we are.
I admirable that the spirit I had to move through to get to the level that you have internationally. And I have a question about China. I had read that China was really taking over in Africa, giving a lot of, if not businesses, land. Is that true?
There is a growing presence a Chinese presence in Africa, yes. In every country in Africa. The relationship, how is the relationship between a particular country in Africa and China? That remains to be seen. If I've asked many Africans, what do they think about the relationship between Chinese and Africans, and they said they are more welcoming to Chinese and doing business in Africa than Western nations. So, but
and this is an issue that I find when I look at the trade issue in the United States in its positions in the world. I don't know if this, but I've always felt that as I heard about China being a competitor, you look at the things on the political front, there's a lot of undercover things going on. I want to ask you something. In your observation, in relating to China and the fact that they have control financially of monies that they have loaned us, but just in your view, having traveled, what do you feel that the government of China may have over the United States?
What they have over the United States?
Yes, is it a financial investment, or is it the loan that supposedly we took out? Something, just your feel on a grassroots level as far as China and the United States relationship.
I think because China is a growing superpower, right? Everyone knows that it's a developing nation. There are so many things here that I wish we had in the U.S. So China is a growing superpower, and I think that type of competition it brings about a relationship that both parties have to make sure that their interest is protected. And I'm not like an economist because it boils down to the economy. And I'm not an economist, so I can't, speak on that. However, what I can say is that China is a growing superpower. The U.S. is the number one superpower, and there needs to be a balance in sharing power, and each country wants to protect its own interests. For the U.S., one of the main things that the president has been advocating is to protect our interests on intellectual property, which has been, China has taken a lot of intellectual property from the U.S. And so you see a lot of things have changed. Like, for instance, the U.S. has really increased its protection with customs. So a lot of things that are sent from China goes through customs. If the products are not real products, if they're not legitimate, they're stopped at customs, they're destroyed or returned, or they're not allowed to come through the U.S. Because that's an infringement of intellectual property. And so that's an example of how each country needs to protect its own interests. So I think that's the major thing that problems with between the U.S. and China is America wants to protect its intellectual property, and they want to make sure that it's being recognized and enforced here in China. And I do see that there's been a lot of effort for China to curtail, intellectual property theft. I've seen vendors on the street selling all kind of products which are not, legitimate products, but I do see that when, say for instance, when the authorities come around, that vendor will leave.
Of course.
Because they know that they cannot sell, that product. So
I have a question about when you say intellectual products, what do you mean exactly?
Okay, I need both of you to hold that thought for just a minute. Just a minute. Hold that thought. We've got to take our last commercial break, and when we'll come back, Minister Cynthia Williams, she'll answer that. She'll answer that.
Hi, this is John Alexander.
And I'm Naima Aziz. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world. Watch us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/TheMediaConnectionTV.
YouTube it. We'll see you soon.
There are people who choose to make a positive difference in the world. Our job is to bring you their stories to motivate you to do the same. Join us each week, host John Alexander and Naima Latif, as we bring you the educators, entertainers, elected officials, religious leaders, and community activists whose works are transforming this world. Find out how you can make a difference too. Be inspired. Watch The Media Connection. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 12 noon on cable TV, Channel 19 in Chicago. In other cities, check your local cable listing. Hi, I'm Naima Latif. Join me and my co-host Kareem Hamid every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the Female Solution Radio Show, as we explore that relationship that is the foundation for our society, the relationship between men and women, husbands and wives. Join our discussion as we seek to repair broken family ties and rebuild our community. Listen online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to our host. Or you can join us live on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. You are tuned in to the Soulful Chicago Book Fair 2020 Vision Fundraising Campaign. That's right. You can support the vision of reviving Black literary excellence in this city by simply taking your $20 or more and donating it on our website. Visit www.soulfulchicagobookfair.com and click the Donate tab on our homepage, or give us a call at 646-359-6605, and we welcome you, helping us breathe literary life into the South Side of Chicago.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
And thank you for joining us here on the Female Solution Monday Morning Mindfulness. If you just joined us, we are speaking with an international businesswoman this morning, LaKeisha L. Caples, who is broadcasting live with us all the way from China, which it is 8:30. I'm sorry, it's 8:30 here. That means it's 8:40 here, so it means it's 9:40 p.m. in China. And a very special, heartfelt, warm greeting for the family of my granny, my husband's grandmother, Viola Goss. Her funeral today is at AR League Funeral, 79th and Cottage, from 10 until 12. And I will be running out the door, not running, I can't run, but I can walk fast, to go to attend the memorial services this morning. So Corky and Amber, I will see you all there at 10 a.m., 10:30, 11, somewhere around there. But Viola Goss, Granny, we called her, gone but never forgotten. It is the elders that speak to us and remind us of the things that we need to do and how to do them and do them right and do them with respect and honor and integrity. And we are very grateful for that. And I was once told, as long as you say the ancestors' names, they are still here with us in spirit, as our guest LaKeisha said. And I wrote it in my notes. I'm looking for it right here. Today we are operating in the Kaluga line. That is where we transcend to the spiritual realm. So we know Granny is listening. We love you, Granny. We miss you already, but we'll see you at the memorial this morning, at the funeral. Now, let us go back to the phone lines. Minister Cynthia Williams, you had a question for LaKeisha, and you were asking that question. Your mic is open. What was that question again?
Well, yes, it was what intellectual properties is she talking about? I had a friend, national Chinese friend, when I was at my university, and she took me over to Chinatown, and there was a gentleman there, and I had a naturopathic. I did acupuncture, but also there was a gentleman that was selling a lot of products, like beautiful fans that was coming from China and different items like that. What is intellectual properties?
LaKeisha?
You said intellectual properties had to be protected. So what are these properties that you're talking about?
So there are many different things. It could be something that, in this context, it is the property ownership of someone, some company, someone. Excuse me. It is the property, the ownership of something. It could be someone. It could be something that's been trademarked, something that's been created. It could be a book. It could be something that's been copywritten. Something that is their intellectual property.
And to piggyback off of that,
I can understand that. And the other thing is, what is the structure that you wish we were doing here in America that you're very admirable about? What exactly is involved in the structural form that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's their culture, actually, of how they create opportunities for each other and for the next generation. And that's a lot of what has been lost in our culture. That, if you look at our neighborhoods, they're not, even black neighborhoods, they're not, most of the stores in black neighborhoods are not black owned stores, businesses. And that's not how their culture is. They do business with each other, first and foremost. They make sure that they create opportunities for the next generation. We are not practicing the same as as we used to back in, I don't know, maybe the 50s. I wasn't born then, but
I was.
We had more black-owned businesses, but we're not operating like that anymore. And so that is one of the things that I would like to see that we do as soon as possible going forward, is to first start from each other. Start,
in the educational system, are they taught to us to be entrepreneurs and to support each other down in the educational system over there? Because children have to be taught that they can do things like this.
Well, let me finish the first thought. The first thing is,
I
really wish that we could start buying from each other, networking with each other, supporting each other's business, and that is key. And that's the difference in why they are successful and very successful, and why we are still struggling because we don't support each other's business, we don't open businesses, and we don't grow them to the optimal level. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of Black companies, they'll start a business, maybe they'll do business within their state and even through the country. But they don't grow the business internationally. Well, when you start this nationally and internationally, now you're creating wealth for the next generation. And that's the difference in how we are operating and how they are operating. Now, you ask, how are they taught? Actually, I don't see a lot of them, and it's the same in Africa as well. There's not really a sense of them going to school to learn to be entrepreneurs. It's actually what they see. So, for example, and I wish I had a picture of it. So I do have a picture of it because sometimes I walk down the street in China and I look inside some of the stores. And one thing that I remember telling someone when I talked to them in Chicago was, I just have a newfound respect for them, because when you walk down the street and you look into their little shops and stores, it's usually what you see is the husband and wife own some type of business. Mm-hmm. And if it's after a certain time of the day, you'll see the children in the shop as well. And they're usually, sitting down or whatever. And so, but that is the dynamic. So they don't go to school to really learn that.
Right.
It's actually what their family structure.
It's their culture.
So the husband and wife own the business together. And then when the children come home from school, they don't go home, because most of them, especially the smaller ones, because there's no one home, because the mother and the father are at work, and that's where you see the children.
Okay, we've got to take.
I can understand what you're saying, because at a Pakistani doctor couple come for me because I'm doing my amputee, and they wanted to give me some legs, the aesthetics, and that was them. Every time they would come.
Okay, we don't know what happened with that caller, but we're going to take another call. Area code 773-885. You're live on the air on the Monday Morning Mindfulness. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Chicago. Good. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Yeah, this is really interesting. How are you, Ms. Caples?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for calling.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And just two questions. A comment and a couple questions. I'm really interested in, number one, your magazine. I see it's Global Influencer. So would you be, in your magazine, the contents, would you be giving descriptions of how we can get on board of the global concept? What areas are really open and receptive? I do writing and I do motivational things. I know that the Chinese are very supportive.
Okay, Lois, we got to get to the point, because we only have a few minutes left here, and she needs to close out. We just need a quick question so she can answer, so we can move on.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Well, thank you for asking about Global Influencers. That was going to be my next thing to talk about. So Global Influencers is a digital publication, and we highlight current and emerging influencers, and it's published bi-monthly. The women, and of course, my platform is helping all business people, but I mainly focus on women because I want it to be motivation for young girls to, at the very beginning of life, to see images of women, particularly Black women, in business, in global business. So as they're finishing college, business or minor in business, there's not very many women who go to college and major in business. So majoring in business in college and grad school, and actually starting a business, even if they don't even go to college, but just to start a business and to grow that business into a global business. So that is the purpose of Global Influencers magazine, is to highlight current and emerging influencers, for mostly women, and particularly African American women or women of color, so that it serves as motivation to young girls, young women, that they too can be business women and own companies. And that's what we want to see, more women owning the company, global brands.
Okay.
The women that we have highlighted before are all A-list business women, and they are multi-million-dollar earners.
Oh, wonderful.
Your next question was how? Yes. And your next question was, how can you learn more about it? Well, through our website, globalinfluencersmagazine.com, you can purchase a subscription. And the pursuit was to hire an investigator, find out which company was making this product. It's a sports equipment product. I can't remember. It's kind of rubber athletes use in exercising. But the product was being made there. He tracked it down, and he sued the company, and he won damages. And that's how he resolved. But it took time. It took money. A lot of business owners who have found themselves in that situation, they didn't have the money or the time or the wherewithal to invest in doing what he did. And so they kind of went out of business. Some of them lost a lot of money. But that is a major concern, and that is one of the concerns, again, which I was mentioning earlier, that's one of the concerns between the two countries is the protection of intellectual property, and that is a challenge.
And if you don't have money to hire an investigator, you are just SOL, because this, not just this country, but other countries. I mean, we had just been known to steal and take things that don't belong to us. I learned that in secular radio back in the day. You would go, a program director would go to a radio station in another city, say Miami, and you get to Miami and you hear a V103, and it's like, they saying that in Chicago. I thought that was a Chicago thing. No, that's a Miami thing, a Las Vegas thing, a New York thing. It's like everybody borrows from everybody. So that's just how that is. Good morning, Grand Rising to Kathy and Lawrence and Marshall. Thank you for joining us this morning. You're listening to LaKeisha Caples, a sister from Chicago who moved to China and who is helping the world at large do what it needs to do, especially business owners. So give us a closing thoughts. We got about 60 seconds here. LaKeisha Caples from In the Sky. Give us a closing thought, sugar.
You're breaking up.
Can you give us a closing thought?
If business owners are interested in starting a business, or you want to grow your business and you want to do business internationally, if you're looking for someone to manufacture a product for you here in China, if you're looking for products to sell and you want to source them from China, if you have a product and you want to export your product to China, because the Chinese really value American brands because of the quality of the brand, then you can contact me at info@lakeinthesky.com.
That was LaKeisha Caples. You can contact her at info@lakeinthesky.com. And I've put the information on my website, on my Facebook page. That's INDASKI. Excuse me, that's my timer going off. Let me know time's up. I have that wrong, but I'll correct it as soon as the show is over. Thank you so much, LaKeisha. We did it. Thank you so much for being such a gracious guest. And we look forward to hearing more from you in the near future, because we know you over there doing things, girl. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much. We will be in touch with you.
90 seconds
after the show is over. We got about 90 seconds. So thank you so much, LaKeisha, and I'll definitely be in touch. And thank you.
One other thing, please follow me on social media at Lake in the Sky.
At Lake in the Sky. So be sure and follow her, and be sure and follow me on social media at Zelda Speaks. If you want to contact me during the week, you can always call me at 312-409-6619 or email me zelda@zeldaspeaks.com. If you want to read my blog, that's zeldarobinsonspeaks.blogspot.com. That's zeldarobinsonspeaks.blogspot.com. And anytime you can go to the website zeldaspeaks.com and click on, you can sign up for our newsletter, and I send that out weekly Monday after the show. Not today, I got a funeral to go to, got to go say bye to Granny. So stay on purpose, stay empowered. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you for following us and liking and subscribing and sharing this video for someone to take their business from local to national to international. Your product can be in China with your permission. So thank you so much. We'll see you back here next Monday morning. Mindfulness.
10 seconds.
Tune in tomorrow for Naima Latif with the family. 7 to 10 a.m. Make it a great day, and thanks for listening. Peace and blessings. And thank you for watching. Make it a great day. Peace. Namaste. Namaste. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this video. Make it a great day. Peace.